I'm JD Green. I've been a face on the radio in Vermont for well over 20 years. And although I've loved my career in radio, I had a vision about bringing my connection to the community to a different platform, to social media, where I could create a blueprint of a podcast that's something constantly evolving, knowing that there's always room for new experiences and learning, discovery, exploration, new questions to ask, and answers to be sought after. A program without limitations, but still with intention to tell a more in-depth story behind what makes us tick, what inspires us, what makes us realize that the what and when is only secondary to the how. And it's the how and the why that I want to uncover. It's my hope with this podcast that I can inspire, inform, that we can learn together and tell the bigger stories behind our lives. That's our story. My real story off the air. I'll try to push the boundaries, arouse your curiosity, and ask the questions you want answers to. Maybe questions no one's asked. The good and the not so good. What's going on in Vermont as well as across our great country. Things you'll agree with, things you might not. It's my hope to laugh with you, cry with you, entertain and enlighten you, but mostly learn with you. Please make sure to support your local public access TV station, subscribe to my YouTube podcast, Aired Out, engage by sharing your comments, and invite your friends to be part of it too. Thanks for tuning in. This is Aired Out. It's Friday night. Thank you so much for subscribing to Aired Out. I'm JD Green. Have a great weekend. It is an absolute pleasure to bring this one to you with Fly on the Wall Productions and CVTV, Public Access Television, Channel 192 and 194 at cvtv723.org. Peak Entertainment of Vermont and New Hampshire, weddings, parties, special events, peakdj.com, FGB Theaters, Capitol Showplace in Montpelier and Paramount Theater in Barrie, home of the FGB movie card and $5 Ticket Tuesdays, gift cards as well, all at fgbtheaters.com. They got Captain Marvel and Pet Cemetery, 5 Feet Apart, Hotel Mumbai, haven't seen it yet, Dumbo, I'll be there this weekend with Lily and Sherilyn. Avengers Endgame advance tickets are on sale at fgbtheaters.com right now. Get them while you can. Over at the Paramount this weekend, Shazam and Us are playing tonight. And a quick reminder, the Elton John biopic Rocket Man, May 31st. I'll be there for that for sure. Cannot wait for it already. CBDcrave.com, superior quality brands shipped right to your door. Quench the crave at cbdcrave.com. You'll always see them here right on the table on display, just some of their many, many products. And Fontaine Forestry and Millworks of East Montpelier, native lumber, custom cut, rough, kiln dried, you name it, tongue and groove, shiplap, they've got it all. Route 14, just below Bragg Farm, and CW Print and Design in Barrie at cwprintdesign.com. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 5. Cops Who Care. That's the name of the show tonight on Aired Out. And, gosh, I've got a great one that's right next to me. Jason Gould from the Washington County Sheriff's Department. But I should also say, and welcome, sir. Thank you so much for coming in here. I should also say, Barrie City Police Department, not the fire department, police, right?
Pick the department, I'm on it.
Are you there?
I'm full-time for the Sheriff's Department. I'm part-time per diem for the Capitol Police, Barrytown, and Barrie City once in a while.
Rumors are flying about you that you know a whole lot about the Capitol.
I do.
You know a lot. Listen, can you and I hook up sometime this summer and maybe I could come up for a little tour?
We absolutely can if you wish.
All right.
I am currently, I work over there at the Capitol Police.
Yeah.
I happen to know a lot about the State House, so much that all of the tour guides come to me for questions. You
know, I'm going to do my homework before this, and I'm going to try to stump you on something. I don't know. I'm going to try to stump you on something. But you and I have so much to chat about. Cops Who Care. You're one of several in central Vermont. You're a great guy. I'm just meeting you now for the first time, but I've heard so much about you over the years, and it is an absolute pleasure to meet you. We have another officer that's going to be coming in here shortly. We'll hold off on that for now, but let's talk about what you do. I mean, there's so much. You're a busy guy, man.
Well, I'm married, so that should tell you.
Amen.
My wife likes to keep me out of trouble.
There you go.
So I'm not going to get in trouble if I'm working.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah.
Let's start with the Boy Scouts. What you do with the Scouts?
Well, first I started off as a DARE officer. So when I worked for Orange County, I became a DARE officer. So I started in that route, and then once I went over to Washington County, I started wondering how I could expand, how I could do more things.
Yeah.
So what I did was with my Lieutenant Mark Poulin, we went ahead. He's part of the Boy Scouts. So I'm like, why don't we help these scouts get their merit badges for law? So since I was stationed over at the Supreme Court, I arranged something, had all the scouts come in, and we did a mock trial for them. We had all the law clerks there to help them out. They explained the law. They did a huge mock trial. It was the first time that any scouts have ever been to the Supreme Court.
Really?
Yeah. So it's pretty neat.
That's you don't get that everywhere.
Yeah. And then every year they always ask me to come over and give a hand. So one year I came over, we did a hand. It was a CSI week. So I helped them out with fingerprints. I fingerprinted all the kids.
Wow.
I gave them the cards so they could take home to their parents and things like that. I explained to them about the different ridge detail and one print and loops and whirls, everything like that. So I mean, we always try to give a hand. We always try to help out everything like that as far as we can.
Yeah, it's one thing to see it on TV or the movies, but another thing to be in there in the courtroom and have your actual finger printed like that is. Whew.
So one year we did the Supreme Court. The next year we went down to Washington Civil Court, and I actually had one of the side judges sit on the bench in his robe and everything. And they went through and they took testimony, and I had a whole bunch of the scouts be in the jury.
Wow!
And we had them vote at the end to see how well we did.
Any cross-examining at all?
Oh yeah,
wow.
we had the scout masters there. They were part the lawyers, part this and that, and it was Joe Alsworth was there.
Was he?
Yeah, because he was the assistant scout master.
Wow.
So it was pretty cool.
He's such a great guy. I can't say enough about Joe Alsworth. I mean, he's just a super guy. That's just one of many things that you do. Let's shift gears. You had a fundraiser last fall. I think it was.
It was. So I follow all these people on the internet, and the internet can be a great tool. You know.
Yeah.
I follow all these people on the internet. They're called Humanizing the Badge. They're a nonprofit organization, and all these individuals go out and they try to help out anywhere they possibly can. Well, one of the directors there has this. He has this program. It's a nonprofit. It's called Call for Backup. So it goes towards first responder suicide. So what I did was, that's a topic that's near and dear to my heart. I wanted to get them as much money as I possibly could, because they take this class anywhere across the nation and they do it free of charge. The only thing that they ask for is travel expenses. So the money that I raise to help give them would be all for, booklets and things like that, so they can keep the doors open and give this class to first responders.
Wow.
And that's for police, fire, and rescue, as well as dispatch and corrections. So what we did was, in November, I was like, because I asked him, I'm like, I'm way over here in Vermont. How can I give a hand? How can I help? And he's like, well, you can have a fundraiser. You can do, whatever you can to, raise up some funds. So what I did was me and my wife, we do craft fairs. She does soy candles, and I do paracord bracelets and stuff.
Interesting.
I organized a craft fair. We did it on a Friday night. We called it a sip and shop. We had the Canadian Club that was there. People came in. They could grab a drink if they wanted to, and then slowly walk around and go and visit table to table. We had each table. We took proceeds of a portion of proceeds from people that rented each table. We took a portion of that out. We had each table donate an item that we gave to we had like a silent auction.
Okay.
So all the money that we raised about $1,400 in like 4 hours that we had that fundraiser.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Wow.
And then we cut them a check. We gave them a bank check. They were tickled pink. They thanked us for it. And it's just a great organization.
So you're going to head where to take this class now?
That would be to Michigan. The same group, the other officer, I don't know if we're going to name him yet, but the other officer and I were planning on going out there to become instructors to help bring this training back to Vermont.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's involved with the training?
It's like
and you're working within a network of law enforcement.
He's a certified chaplain. He's a law enforcement officer. All the other people within the organization are all top-notch people. It's a 2-day class.
Okay.
I don't know what how we're gonna learn it in 2 days, but
Yeah.
I imagine that they'll still have a huge support staff for us if we need a hand.
Oh, yeah.
But just great people.
And then you'll come back to Vermont, maybe tweak it a little bit, refine it somewhat, and then you're going to offer this class to anyone in law enforcement,
Corrections,
fire, EMT,
EMS, dispatch. Yeah. So
you guys, there's so much in just chatting with law enforcement briefly. It doesn't take long to realize that you guys see things on a daily basis that's part of your job that I can't even fathom. I mean, I honestly talk about, you got to be cut out for the kind of work that you guys do. There are so many things that you have to be. First and foremost, a humanitarian.
Everything. You have to be...
You have to be the bad guy, the good guy. You got to be everything.
You have to be, a doctor, a psychologist,
right?
A parent,
right?
Because some people can't parent their own kids, so we have to go in there. I mean, everything.
When it comes to PTSD and the after effects of what you see and what you do, either in law enforcement or as a paramedic or fire, I have chatted with so many of these individuals just in this backyard over the last 10, 15 years or so, and seen firsthand the way it has affected them, but also how very well, they can cover it up. And I've talked with Deputy Altsworth about this, and he's told me, I said, what do these guys and girls do when they go to there's horrible fire or a car accident or it's they go on a call to someone who's a family member. How do they put that uniform on the next day and go to work and shake this off? He said, you guys are just a tight family. You all get it. You're all on the same page, and you just rally together. But there could be more that's needed beyond that. And you don't always see the signs when someone's really hurting.
And also another thing, too, is it could be that there's several incidences where, like, a police officer gets hurt, and he's out of work for a while.
Sure.
And it's sorry to say, but some administrations are like, well, we're really sorry that you're hurt, but we can't help you from here.
Sure.
So then that officer is sitting there struggling to pay bills now.
Sure.
So then, with the way the economy is and things like that, he's struggling to pay bills. You're going from a 2-income job, a 2-income house to a 1-income, and now they're really struggling at that point. They can't make ends meet.
Right.
And a lot of times that just builds on builds and builds. So between what happened to that officer traumatically
Right.
that got him wounded, and then on all that stress on top of that,
Of course.
and so
I think it's fantastic that you're going to be bringing this program right here to Central Vermont. How should folks learn more about it and or be up to speed on what you're doing, when you're doing it, when it's going to be offered? Facebook, I'm guessing.
Well, yes. Eventually, well, we don't really have a game plan as of yet, but once we come back, and that should be in August.
Okay.
Once we come back in August, then we're going to just put out an email.
Will you come on the show
Oh, I will.
in August and promote
Sure.
what it is that you learned?
I don't know
your
about the
takeaway-
other officer, but I'll
right.
come in.
You're brave enough to be here. All right. I would love to know the takeaway that you bring back. Would be cool. That'd be really, really nice to have you back. What's this whole Caps for Cops thing about?
I was watching social media, and I saw this event that happened down in Texas. And this organization, Humanizing the Badge, they were there helping out with this thing down in Texas. I saw this kid there. I call him a kid. He's like 26. He's been in the jail. He's working for a sheriff's department. He's, so I call him a kid only because I'm not a kid.
Neither am I.
So I was like, what's this Caps for Cops thing? So then I started digging into it, and I started looking at it, and I'm like, that's a really good idea. What he wants to do and how he wants to do it, that's just a great idea. So what he wants to do is, how they have the little pull tabs for the veterans?
Sure.
Take a little pull tab and save it?
Yeah.
He wants to do the same thing, but with bottle caps. So what he does is he sets buckets out at certain bars and clubs like that. So when the bartenders pop a top, they throw the bottle cap in there and they hand the drink off to whoever wants it. Once their bins are filled, they call him up. He comes in, picks up the bottle caps, and he goes and recycles them. So, and then I started digging into what he wants to do with that money, and then what the main goal is they want to end the divide between citizens and the police, because there is that divide.
Sure.
So how he wants to do it is he wants to educate the public, but he also wants to award police officers that go above and beyond the call of duty, beyond the badge. So I was like, that's a really cool idea. So I start talking to him. We start talking back and forth. I'm like, dude, I'm here in Vermont. How can I help? And he's like, well, you could do a fundraiser. You could do this and that. So we start just kicking around ideas back and forth. And then, I'm sitting there and I'm watching my snow melt like everyone else in Central Vermont. And I'm like, there's that lawnmower I got to get rid of. How am I going to get rid of that? I got all these metal chairs. I got to get rid of that from camp. So I got all this old metal rakes and old metal this. So I'm like, man, I don't want to throw it in my car, drive it all the way up to the metal recycling place and get gas money on the way home. So I'm like, I wonder if everybody else is in this situation. Where is there one place I could just chuck it off at and let that money, whatever money there is, do good?
If it's metal.
If it's metal.
Scrap. Yeah.
So I contacted Bulldogs, and he's like, yeah, we do metal recycling fundraisers all the time. So I'm like, great, this is what we are. This is who we are. I arranged it. I contacted the city. I'm looking for a place that's big enough where I can have it in case there's a truck and trailer that pull in,
sure,
or a car with a trailer. So they're going to allow me to do it up at the Berry Odd. And I'm going to have a couple of metal dumpsters. People can come up, throw off their metal, free of charge. I don't want any money. That's the main goal of Caps for Cops is we don't want your money. Give us your garbage and we'll do something special with it. Don't pay to get rid of it.
So cool. So what would you, so I want to know the when and the where.
All right. It's going to be the last Saturday in April, April 27th, I believe.
Yeah.
We're going to do it from 8 in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon. I'll be up there. I'll help people unload if they got something. I'll help them unload. The only thing they can't bring is they can't bring safes. They can't bring any liquids. You know, I got a guy, he's a fireman, he's donating his car. He's got an old car that it's going to cost him more money to fix
Sure.
than it is for what the vehicle's worth.
Right.
So he's like, I'm just going to push, pull, tow, drag it up there, and you can have the whole thing.
Wow, man.
So I mean, that's pretty awesome too.
That's fantastic. So what are you gonna do with the funds raised?
All right, so I have such great ideas that, you know, they asked me to join the organization with them. So
Wow.
I'm part of the group. That's awesome. That's great.
You're on the board.
We're kicking around ideas back and forth. Where we would like to bring this whole thing is give officers a Beyond the Badge award, but you know we'll give them a T-shirt and a cup and a hat and things like that. But that all takes money.
Yeah.
We'd also like to give underfortunate police departments a way and a means for them to bridge the gap. Like a lot of departments that are good, they provide their officers with baseball cards and things like that. So with the money that we raise, that's something we might want to do, is purchase baseball cards for a department.
Yeah.
And say, here you go, guys. You can hand them out now, and our little company logo will be on the back. Or even purchase a whole bunch of soft serve ice cream cone gift certificates.
Sure.
Hand them out to this department and that department, and say, hey, if you see somebody even walking across the street the right way, you can have that nice interaction with them.
Of course.
Or even if it's like a Dunkin' Donuts gift card or something small like that.
Yeah.
Just some way. And it should be something like that where it's not going to be a burden upon each of the department's budgets.
Of course.
And so this is what we want to do. And with me joining this organization, it's going to help bring Vermont and Vermont law enforcement and things like that a part of the equation nationwide. Because right now we're like off somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's going to help bring us there, because basically what we do here in Vermont, and it works great. It's just a cookie cutter now. We're going to do it in Florida. We're already working on scrap metal drives in Florida. I'm hooking up with somebody over in Colorado. We're going to try to do one out there in Colorado, and we're going to do one in Texas. So what we're doing here in Vermont, we're just doing it everywhere. And how awesome is that?
Wow. I'm speechless. I'll tell you right now, if it's any way possible for me to come up there on the 27th, I would love to get up there and
you most certainly can,
and have a look and maybe roll some tape or something.
You most certainly can.
Wow, man.
We don't care. Come on up. I'll put you to work, though.
I'm sure you will.
If you come up, bring some scrap metal.
I will. I've
like I said, we don't want anybody's money. We don't want money.
Yeah.
We want to help you guys.
Yeah.
We want to help the public, because here's a means and a way for the public to get rid of that old lawnmower or that junky old sled or that, even old pots and pans, things like that. They can bring them up, just chuck them. And at least this way it's going to go. It's a registered nonprofit organization. I'm part of it. We're going to make sure that good things are going to happen here in Vermont. And we're going to make sure of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So should we go ahead and shift gears here and play the
Yeah, I believe that the founder of Caps for Cops did give a message.
Yeah.
So he did want to talk about Caps for Cops here for a moment.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Feel free.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Josh here. I'm the founder and executive director of Caps for Cops, and you might be wondering what I'm doing right now. So I know that Jason's there, my good friend Jason. He's on our team, but I'm not here to talk about Jason. I'm actually here to talk about his good friend Chad. So what's up, Chad? How you doing, man? Look, I got to tell you, when I started my business relationship with Jason and we started talking about what we do, you got to understand something, man. At Caps for Cops, we're all about ending the divide between citizens and police. And we're constantly looking for police officers who are going above and beyond the demands of the badge. You were the first person that Jason ever told me about. He told me your story. He told me what you're doing for the community. He told me what you've done for the people that you serve. And dude, I have to be honest with you. From day one that he mentioned your name, we agreed we need to do something for you. So Chad, I got to let you in on a little surprise, man. I know that you think you are sitting here on a podcast and you're just being a guest on the podcast and this and that. Look, dude, I have a surprise for you. Today is actually all about you, my friend. Surprise, surprise. This is all about you. Our team at Caps for Cops has unanimously decided that you are more than deserving of our most distinguished award, the Beyond the Badge Award. So, Mr. Chad Bassette, I have to tell you, my friend, from us to you, we are proud and honored and privileged to name you as the second ever recipient of the Beyond the Badge Award for your selfless service to your community and your selfless service each and every day. What you have done is the perfect example of what every police officer should strive to do. You haven't done this for the attention. You haven't done this for the recognition. You have done this because you have a servant heart. And that, dude, if I can't tell you enough how much of an awesome cop that makes you, then I don't know, man. You've made us all proud. You've made the law enforcement community proud. But more than that, man, I think you've made every citizen proud. And you are really doing exactly what we want to do, which is in the divide between citizens and police. So I'm going to let my friend Jason take it from here, but I just wanted to sincerely thank you on behalf of my organization. We are so thankful for what you do each and every day. Please keep doing it. Keep being an amazing human being. Get in touch with me. I'd love to talk to you personally. And lastly, congratulations. You deserve this. We are so proud to give you this Beyond the Badge Award. Thanks, guys. Take care. God bless.
All right, Jason, I'm going to let you just have the mic here because this is really all something that you organized, this surprise. We just cut away for a second here, but what a reaction from this old fella right here, Chad Bassette.
You shouldn't have done it.
Chad had no idea. Wait, which camera? All right. He had no idea that we were doing this. And I just filmed him watching the message from Josh Ingram, the executive director for Caps for Cops. So it was priceless because I told Chad, I knew that if I went to have Chad come here to get an award,
he wouldn't show up.
He would not have showed up.
Yeah, right.
So what I told people was, I told Chad that JD Green pulled me aside, wants me to do a story of cops who care, and I feel a little guilty because I don't feel I do a lot to deserve any recognition, and you do a lot of stuff too, Chad. So come on the show and help me out.
Yeah.
So Chad was like, okay. So then I knew I had to make up a story to get the award here. Of course. I told Chad, I'm like, I got a beautiful little print off that I did for JD about being a huge supporter of first responders, and I had it covered up and everything.
Wait a second, I am a huge supporter.
Well, that's a next show. We'll get you a certificate on the next show. But I mean that was for me to get this. And Chad, dude, you deserve all of this.
Now,
here's the thing:
for being human. I mean,
here's the thing.
You don't get awarded for being human.
You all don't know what Chad does.
No.
Well, let's start. We'll back up here. We won't talk about this last part yet. But
what part is he
he'll
talking
take
about?
money from businesses and products and things like that. He'll get backpacks, and he'll give these backpacks to unfortunate kids and underprivileged people that need these school supplies. He does that. Then bike season comes rolling around.
Yeah.
He collects all this money. He buys all these helmets for kids.
Yeah.
And they'll be driving around. If he sees a kid without a helmet, he'll give him a helmet.
Sure.
Here you go, kid. Here's a helmet.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that you're safe.
Yeah.
That takes community caretaking to like the next level.
Yeah.
And then he does one more. He tops that. He says, listen, I really care about these homeless people that are in my area, as well as in Berry City, as well as in all the surrounding agencies.
Right.
And if somebody's giving out, hey, I'm Chad, I'm throwing out a blanket and stuff. Do you need it? He'll take it. He'll hang on to it. He'll put his money towards gift cards to people, as well as money from other people that are donating gift cards. And he'll get hand warmers and things like that, first aid kits. and he'll drop them off at the encampments all the time. Now, if that's not going beyond the badge, Chad, then I have no freaking clue.
Well, it's not going
Well,
beyond
you
the
know-
badge because it's being human and having empathy for others that are in
Dude,
need.
you take community caretaking to a completely different level.
Well, and it's not
and
just-
it's awesome.
And it's not just.
It's awesome.
Well, I thank you for that, but
You
it's not just
deserve
me.
you deserve everything, dude. And you know, people, us cops, we don't like to take any credit for anything, and we always try to go,
That's
"Oh,
right.
he's a lot better than I am."
That's
and
right.
Look at what he does.
Yeah.
I don't do anything special. He does. That's what we do.
Yeah.
You know, and it's all for the betterment of other people and not ourselves.
Sure.
You know, and that's the thing, and that's exactly why once I started seeing what Caps for Cops was, and I immediately talked to them. I said, I know a guy in Vermont, and Josh goes, well, what does he do? So I start telling him, and he goes, are you kidding me? I'm like, no, but wait, there's more, and he does this.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more. He does this too.
Yeah.
And then when I told him about the gas cards that you get to people and the hand warmers,
Yeah.
and you see somebody sleeping in their car and you make sure that they got like a
Yeah.
McDonald's, you know, and then if you don't have anything to give them, you take money out of your own pocket and you
Yeah.
give it to them.
Yeah.
Dude, that's all. You have that luxury. I can't because my wife has all my money.
Yeah, of course she does. Of course.
My wife is a supporter of what I do, but it's not only just me. You know, I go to Walmart. Walmart's a great supporter. They give us a lot of stuff, and CVS gives us a lot of stuff. And you know, fortunately, I'm in the position right now to be where I need to be. And if you are, you know, I'm out there 10 hours a day, but I also do it on my days off. But if I know that you're in need and I have access to improve your life, why wouldn't I? I'd be, I don't know, I'm going to say stupid not to be able to give you that stuff. When I'm put in this place in life for a reason. And if the reason is giving you a blanket, then great. It worked out. If the reason is giving you a gas card because you're staying in one of the parking rides, then so be it. Because there's only so much the state can do for individuals. So I don't think that's going above and beyond. I just think that's being human.
I think it is. I think it's going above and beyond big time.
Well, but I'm put here. I have those connections with Walmart, with CVS, with Big Lots, with a lot of stores, and you know I can get things for pennies on the dollar, or they donate a lot of stuff, and you have citizens coming in and donating a lot of stuff, and I'm just the vehicle
Yeah.
to get that to those in need.
I think the fact that you have this this in the back of your mind as you know, how can you help others when you're boots on the ground, you're moving around, you're seeing things that so many folks like myself just simply don't see. You're seeing some of these encampments, these tent cities. You're seeing folks that, for one reason or another, have fallen on hard times, and you don't just look. You do something about it.
You try to do something about it. You can only do as much as they allow you to do.
Of course.
And the whole purpose is to get them into the government and to have them fill out the proper paperwork to get them into housing.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, some cannot read or write.
Yeah.
Some have mental health illness that prevents them from, you know, socializing or talking with
Sure.
people with authority.
Sure.
And whether it takes a year or two, eventually, I hope that I can break through and put that person in contact with an agency that can actually help them out and get them off the streets.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm here for. Is
Yeah.
that going above and beyond? No. You know, we all took it. No. We all took an oath when we all swore in, and that was my oath. So why wouldn't I do that is the easier question. If you have the capability and the means to help somebody else, why wouldn't you do that? You know, it comes with a job. It comes with being human. And it's not just a 4-day a week, 40 hours a week. A lot of people have my cell phone. They'll text me, hey, I need this. If it's my day off, if I can do
that's
it,
the thing.
I'll go do it.
The people in the encampments have his phone number.
Of which a lot of people think that's crazy. But the thing is,
Hi-
what's crazy? Helping
does that?
people is crazy?
Who does that?
Who does that?
Yeah, but
Who
who
does
does
that?
that? Who does that for what? I mean, that's being human, and human doesn't fall. tragedy, your crisis doesn't fall on my schedule.
Yeah.
Your crisis falls on whatever's going on in your life.
Yeah.
And, if I'm not doing anything and, I'm not at a doctor's, I'm not with my wife, I'm not doing whatever, and you text me and say, hey, I just got booted out of here. What can you do? And I can put you in contact with somebody. I can get you some food. I can get you some blanket. Then why wouldn't I do that?
On his day off.
Yeah, on his day off.
And then there's another thing, too, is that the guy will go visit these places and tramp through snow, get attacked by skunks.
Sure.
Was
he?
I do not like it.
Was he really?
Well, I kind of froze because I had the pizza. What? My dog's been sprayed by a skunk.
He's like Domino's. He's bringing pizza to him.
My dog got sprayed. God forbid if I get sprayed by a skunk. My wife's gonna kick me out. I won't have anywhere to sleep. So I'm not getting sprayed by a skunk. So you sit there with like a statue. Yeah. So you just go around, don't do anything. I'm not looking at you.
In 3 foot of snow.
But
this guy.
Yeah.
But the thing is, 3 foot of snow when it's raining or when it's, doing
he
something
goes out,
else.
He knows too that if there's bad weather coming,
sure,
he'll check with these people beforehand and make sure that they're okay.
Yeah, right.
Hey, do you guys need? It's going to be a cold weekend.
And I want to bring that up because this past winter, we all know, was brutal. Yeah. I mean, it was brutal. The temperatures, the snowfall. I'm pretty sure the Farmer's Almanac was spelling it out for us, but it was bad, man.
It was cold.
I mean, it was rough for people who have homes.
Yep.
Just there were a few nights that I remember we had left Price Chopper, Sherilyn and I. And I said to her, I cannot believe that there are people that are sleeping outside right now in a tent. It's truly unfathomable. And I have to tell you, man, as someone who is a public figure like myself with 5,000 Facebook friends, when I get hit up by a half a dozen or more people over the course of the last, 3 or 4 months, telling me about you and the things that you're doing, that says something, and folks suggesting that I have you on my podcast and that you get some kind of recognition.
Don't do it for recognition. You do it because you're.
I understand that.
That is why I'm here.
I understand that. And
with the recognition.
And I had reached out to you. I had seen some of your posts on Facebook. By the way, your social media savvy is unbelievable.
I'm better behind the keyboard than I am in front of the cameras. Just saying.
Well, you bring things. You connect. you connect the behind the scenes world that the police can live in to the community, to people's living rooms, and that's so cool. But the last, I think it was one of the last people that reached out to me to talk about you was the guy sitting next to you, and that's when I said, this has got to happen. I mean, it's got to happen. And then
planned.
And I had heard.
I'm here. I'm being held captive.
I think
that's an arrestable offense.
Yeah, right. Against your will.
That's right.
I had heard some rumors that you're a pretty humble guy. I won't mention any names. Joe Altsworth. Oh, that you've got a great reputation, and your brothers, your sisters they're watching your back.
Well,
and
that's what we all hope and do.
This is I think long overdue. Would you agree, Jason?
It's not long overdue. There's a lot of officers out there in Washington County, whether they're in Montpelier. Deputy Gould is doing a lot to bring in, the mental side of it, where with, PTSD, with internal investigations, that also causes officers issues. Sure. But, there's officers in Barrie doing great things. Yeah. We're all here as a team to help the community at large. And Facebook and Instagram is just a great tool to let our community at large know what's going on in their town.
Yeah.
Because without it, you don't know. I mean, you may see some panhandlers down on the streets, and that can bring up some negative connotations, but the reality behind their life, it brings a personal side to it. That yes, they're doing it, but it's not their fault. And I hate to say that, but sometimes people are dealt a raw hand, and that's what we're here for, to help when we can.
What is it? Give us some more details, and if you won't or can't for whatever reason, I know Jason will, but I want to know what it is that you do with the homeless. You go in on foot. You bring blankets. You bring food. I want to know the details of what you do.
A lot of people ask me that. What do I do? And my basic answer is, you're human. I'm doing what's right. In between, obviously the calls for service comes first, but in between the calls for service, if I see that you need a helping hand, I'm going to go, like Deputy Gould says, I check in with people. What do you need? I'm going to search for what you need, and then I'm going to bring it to you when I'm free, whether it's my day off or whether I'm working, whether I'm staying late or whether I'm coming in early. It doesn't make a difference. There's a need, and I hope that I can fulfill it. Not every time it happens, but going in the woods by yourself at 2 o'clock in the morning with sometimes people are very intoxicated or high in drugs. Is that the smartest thing to do? Absolutely not. FTOs and the police academy will probably say, "Are you kidding me?" But I can't expect you to be on the same path in life that I am. So if I go to Deputy Gould, I don't care if you're sleeping. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I need somebody to come with me. And he may not feel that way about homelessness or about whatever. I can expect him to do it.
Yeah.
I don't ask anybody to donate anything. I don't ask anybody to come along with me, because this is my path in life.
You've built up a sense of trust, camaraderie, respect.
Yeah.
Do you ever get nervous? Do you ever get rejected, refused? They see the police coming, they automatically think, "Oh, there's the cop car. Here comes the cop. We're in trouble." Do you ever get any resistance?
All the time, especially with new faces. And I rely on people who I've talked with before to actually help me.
Oh, of course.
I've been in woods before with an intoxicated individual, and there's like 14, 15 people around. You bring out your big boy voice, because that person needs to go to jail.
Yeah.
And you tell everybody to, you need to back up, because this person isn't going to go willingly. The little hairs in the back of your neck stick up.
Sure.
And then you're training from the academy.
Sure.
You just put yourself in a bad situation. What are you going to do?
Sure.
You can rely on your mouth, but you also got to rely on, what you learn in the academy for, moves to take the individual into custody.
Yeah.
So yes, there is.
Wow.
Good SAMs. I also do a lot of work with good SAMs, and at first, when they get new people, a lot of them don't like police because they have negative experiences.
Yeah.
And like Deputy Gould was saying, we need to break that barrier, because they're not going to us in times of need because they're afraid of officers. There's always bad lawyers, there's bad doctors, there's bad people that work in restaurants, there's bad cops, there's bad everything.
Sure, of course.
But unfortunately, the news picks up on what we do, and they amplify it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there really isn't a backstory to show the good that we're also doing. It's not just me.
Sure.
It's officers in Montpelier. It's officers at Washington County. It's officers at Barry. They're all doing good.
Sure.
Whether or not they choose to post it on Facebook, that's up to them. But in Berlin, I want our tax-paying community members knowing that we're not just sitting behind a computer watching YouTube and gun videos.
Bridging the gap, using social media to bridge the gap between your department and the community is so huge. I remember reading a post that you wrote about a gentleman that you had known for a long time, and in many respects, a great guy. someone that I don't know if you grew up with him, but you had known him for a long time, and you were called up to the mall, and he was off of his meds, and he was in trouble, and you took him in, and he was verbally he wasn't himself, but you used some connectivity of music, and you got the songs that you knew that he loved, and you reconnected with him. You calmed him down, and that's really cool, man. I mean, when I read something like that on Facebook, that's awesome. You were also very affected a short time ago by the loss of a homeless individual, someone that had passed away, and that really rattled you to the core.
You're gonna get me tearing up. So,
No, I'm not.
You know, we all have tragedies in our life, and you make an investment into your community or into your family. You know, when something bad happens, you know, it really hits home, and I'm getting goosebumps and I'm getting choked up just talking about it, because, I don't want to. You're getting me all choked up. So, but long story short, you have a investment in people, and they invest in you to do the right thing, and when you're not there in their time of need and they end up expiring or whatever, it kind of sucks. It really does. And you're always left with, what could I have done differently? And if I would have been hardball with them a little bit more, would have been different. But in the same aspect, I wouldn't have known a lot about individuals' lives if you're not able to communicate effectively with them and find out why they're there and what kind of, issues they're having or crisis they're going through, to get them the help that they need. And again, I can't stress this enough. It's not just me, it's everybody else. And that's what we're here for. And it's not a 4-day-a-week job. It's not 40 hours a week. It's a continuing effort, and I just had somebody ask me the other day, isn't it trying on your patients and trying on your mentality? But it's really not. It's doing the right thing. Is doing the right thing, holding you back? Is it trying on your patients, trying on your mental, whatever's going on upstairs? No. Doing the right thing is doing the right thing. And whether it's your on shift or your off shift, we should be there to support our community. And I'm there, even if I wasn't an officer, I'd be doing the exact same thing. So this doesn't mean anything. It just gives me the tool to be at 2 o'clock in the morning out in the woods with somebody going through a crisis, to bring them propane so that their tent isn't minus 40, to bring them food, even though, there's a couple individuals I'm trying to get in touch with who won't talk to me. But every week or every couple days, I'll bring them stuff in hopes that eventually they'll recognize that and they'll tell me, what can I do for you to get you out of here? Because the whole purpose is getting them out of the tents and get them into housing.
I hope every law enforcement officer in your department gets a chance to watch this podcast, and gosh, every department everywhere for that matter, in Vermont and beyond our borders. This is yeoman's work. I think, well, at least myself and the guy next to you know that. Show that badge that he got.
I gave him I gave him a challenge coin.
Yeah, show that up to the camera.
You can give that to JD.
That's great, man. Look at that. And there's a badge that's going to be coming that you'll be wearing on your uniform.
Yes.
You even told me, speaking of coins, that you keep coins.
You're killing me.
From
You're busting all my secrets.
From some of the people that you get.
Yes, I do keep a lot of coins in my vest and badges and stuff.
He was telling me one, because I gave him one coin, and he goes, I'm going to keep this with my other coins, because we have a little pouch in our vests that we put our trauma plates.
Yeah.
He goes, I got them right down here, watch. And he pulls one out. I'm like, well, that's a cool coin. Yeah, I got this from a guy who stabbed me, and he was telling me that, he was really sorry, so he gave me this coin. I was like, what?
So cool.
Well, it also means. I mean, could it be an insincere gesture? Yeah, but I hope to see the best in people, and hopefully that is a sincere gesture.
Yeah.
And that's why I hold on to. My wall has all the thank you cards and has pictures of kids' drawings, and if I can fit it in my vest, I do put. I mean, I must have 15, 20 coins in there and badges.
That's
like
so cool.
Little kids will give me detective badges. I'll take the pin off and put it in I have it in here. And I figure that, maybe with all that,
Wow.
maybe it'll help my ore and not get hurt.
And give you some good luck.
Give me some good luck. There
Yeah,
you go.
man.
So
I have to tell you, when I first thought about doing this podcast, this is exactly to a T, precisely the kind of show that I love doing. This is, you have served exactly what I hope to convey with this podcast, with just connecting with the public. This is exactly what I'm talking about. The movers, the shakers, the doers in our backyard and beyond. And I'm sitting next to two of them right here in Barrie tonight. So I want to thank you again for coming in here. Thank you again for being part of the trick, if you will, of being the victim of of the surprise that Deputy Gould created here. A lot of hard work from both of you, but this guy next to you has been he's jumped a few hoops and he made the right calls and has done.
well, he's very passionate, and I don't see it as being hard work. I see it as being passionate about the human race and about your job. I mean, he's doing a lot of great things that if we can get some of this to Vermont that Vermont does not have, it's not only going to help him, it's not only going to help me. And if you're an officer or firefighter, it's not only going to help you, it's going to help everybody in the state of Vermont that actually comes to it. And that's the whole point, because whether it's, you get hurt on the job or the internals. I mean, there's always internals going on in every department, and that weighs so heavy on an officer's soul that it can actually turn a great officer into making poor decisions or actually doing nothing at all. And if we can be there to rectify or correct that way of thinking, that's what we're here for. That's being human. That's being a deputy for Washington County. That's what he's here for. He's doing a lot of great things, and I'm happy to be a part of whatever he wants to do. I mean, he's come to me a million times. I'm like, I'll do whatever.
Well, when this whole thing started coming up about this call for backup campaign, and I start talking to people about it, and they just go blank, because once you mention suicide prevention and suicide awareness for the first responder, I just lost half the people, half the audience out there. They're like, this doesn't happen in Vermont.
It's a dirty little secret.
This doesn't happen in Vermont.
But when it touches you.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring this training to Vermont, and I just started talking to Chad one day, and we are like, yeah, let's go do it.
So both of you are doing it.
Because now I know I have somebody good that we can help bring this to this area.
I don't know about good.
I want you
I'm
both.
willing.
I want you guys back in here in August when you've completed your training for that, and recap things and go from there. I can't thank you enough, both of you, for bringing your message to this platform today. And again, yeoman's work, both of you. I'm humbled. I'm honored to have you in here, and I really no, you too, man.
No,
you
you
too.
gotta, it's not
incredible work.
It's not just us. There's a lot of good officers in Barrie, Montpelier, and
we'll get to them soon enough.
Yeah.
Caps for Cops.
We will.
Yeah.
You're going to be my man on that. We'll find him.
But again, I'm totally blown away, and you tricked me.
I hope you were surprised.
I was very surprised because I thought we were setting it up for him.
Fly in the Wall Productions and CVTV, Public Access Television, bringing it to you tonight. Aired Out, Peak Entertainment of Vermont, New Hampshire, FGB Theaters, CBDcrave.com, Fontaine Forestry, CW Print and Design in Barrie. We appreciate it so much, guys. Thank you. Please come back. I'm so glad that I have finally met both of you. We'll catch you next time, next week. That's going to do it for this Friday night. I'm JD Green. Thank you so much for subscribing, for sharing, for liking, for commenting. We appreciate the comments. Stay in touch, and we'll catch you next week. This is Aired Out.